everybody, this is En route, and welcome. Today I wanted to discuss a loaded topic: the difference between wisdom and education. There are a lot of people with education, but there is not many people that have wisdom. And wisdom comes from many different things. We all may have wisdom in certain areas, but that could end up just really being education, right? Education says, wow, I can build a rocket ship. Wow, I can create extensive code to make this AI seem sentient. I can put a implant in someone's brain and control their bodies and blah, blah, blah. I can create a chimera. But wisdom says, when are we crossing a boundary? When are we going too far? When is too much too much? When is it gone too far? Wisdom shows that you have some restraint. You have some understanding that despite the fact that, yes, you have the ability to do something, that doesn't mean you're going to do it. It's kind of like at war when, you're trying to come up with the best strategy to go about attacking your enemy. Sometimes blowing up the resources isn't the best strategy. Sometimes it's better to take the land and then control it and seize it in a way that isn't as destructive as an explosion. In a way where you can preserve the environment and the structures and the ecosystem and benefit from that and take that as your territory, right? War isn't always about blowing things up, right? War is about strategy. War is about farming things and psychological a lot of the times. And because of that, I think a lot of people, general public, tends to have no knowledge of the warfare that we go through all the time. We're educated, but we're too foolish to understand that we're only educated in the areas that is deemed okay. When you start going towards certain situations, certain boundaries, people want to stop you. Why is that? And so because we have that fear and we have that boundary there from someone that seems more higher and wiser, we stunt ourselves, and we stay within this box that the education system puts you in, and we don't explore further than what we've been taught to explore. Wisdom says, wait a second, there's more out there. There's hidden secrets. There's more to know, there's more to understand, and there's more to actually try and figure out. There's better ways to do things, right? When I talk about wisdom, I'm not always talking about the most profitable solution. And this is why wisdom isn't actually the main thing. This is why education is more important in our society than the old wise sage. Wisdom says, hey, if you do this, there's a domino effect. It will eventually become the destruction. While yes, your company can benefit from this for however so many years, once the source is depleted because of your constant, mining and, succubusing of this material or this whatever, you're without replenishing back because you want to do things at the cheapest and most cost-effective manner, well then of course because you want to benefit now, education says, oh well, I can financially come up with this now, I can financially benefit from this now, I can financially take advantage of the situation, and then leave this mess for somebody else, leave this mess for another generation or another person, or just leave this pocket of area, whatever area that is, as just a black hole, of a place where things can't, be replenished. Why? Wisdom says, why asks question. Wisdom asks question. Education says, well, I learned this and blah, 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 blah. But as I don't know where somebody said this is, I didn't make this up, but plants don't read books. Plants don't go by the rules. So even though it may say, hey, this thing goes a certain way, I've seen plants that supposedly don't grow in Florida, grow in Florida. So the rule isn't always the rule, and you can't always believe everything you see, everything you hear, everything education wants you to think. Critically think. Why doesn't education teach you to question it? Why doesn't education teach you to critically think? Why doesn't education teach you to be more experimental in the way you approach things? Oh, but you can be experimental as long as it's destructive. Let's be experimental as long as it's a way to make money. Let's be experimental when, it's profitable. But experimental to benefit, experimental to push things forward, no. And so we have to understand that education does not mean wisdom. I can educate somebody in a certain area and teach them a certain thing, but then they have no knowledge of another thing. It's just kind of like, I can teach someone to be a mechanic, right? But I don't teach them how to manage bills. I don't teach them how to cook or clean. But they have this skill set, this education, but they don't have, the wisdom to say, hey, I should probably be more well-versed and more well-rounded. They say, no, be one thing. You're an ear doctor, you're a foot doctor, you're a nose doctor, you're a mouth doctor, you're a hair doctor, but you don't know, you're disconnected. There's so much disconnection, even though we should be well-rounded because it all connects. And so education says, oh, you're this, you're a that, you're a that. But wisdom would say, hey, you need to know this, this, and this to get the whole picture, to get the whole thing, to get the whole encompassing thing, to get the circle of life. But in this society, we disconnect the circle of life. Everybody's disconnected. You're disconnected from this and this and this. And so people only have a piece of the picture most of the time. You don't get the whole picture. And because most people don't understand the whole picture, we always stay just educated but unwise. And this is so important for people to understand. Why are we so disconnected? We think food comes from the supermarket, but food does not come from the supermarket. Food comes from a seed. Food comes from a start somewhere. It starts from somewhere. Why are we so disconnected from our food? Would you go out there and actually go and kill the chicken yourself? Probably not. Because you're so disconnected. You don't understand where that comes from. Most societies that are not as technologically advanced as Western societies, they eat meat, but meat is more of a celebratory thing. Meat is more of a special occasion thing, because what does meat signify? Meat signifies you're taking the life of someone. That's why halal and kosher meat is important, because you pray for the life that you take. Here in society, we're so disconnected from the lives that we allow the lives that we eat to live in their shit and their piss, and we don't even think twice about it. We're so disconnected from our food and how it gets to our plate, that we don't even realize that what we're eating is antibiotics and animal and just empty protein, because the energy isn't actually there. We're so disconnected from the reality of how things are supposed to be. we're not doing things correctly because we want to be so technologically advanced. You know, it's great and all that we've created technology and we have the ability to put implants in people for medical purposes, but why is it that this is being pushed for healthy people? Why do you want to be that tapped into something and have absolutely no privacy? Get rid of your privacy. That's not wisdom. That's saying, oh, I want my life to be easy. I want to be bottle fed. I want to be bottle fed. Society wants to be bottle fed. You're all little babies. You want things to be as easy and simple as possible. And because of that, you're monitored, you're screened, you're always being checked. Something's always paying attention to you. You don't really actually have a moment to yourself. And so, you know, education says, wow, this will make my life easier. Wow, this will make my life more profitable. Wow, this and this and that. But wisdom says, yes, but this will take away my autonomy. This will take away my freedom. This will take away my privacy. This will take away everything from me eventually. This will take away my ownership. People think, oh, you know, it's wise to keep our mouth shut. We don't want to shake the boat. We don't want to rock the boat. But wisdom says, hey, we have a constitution to uphold and the government has gone rogue and we need to take them out of their seats in their office, and these people need to go off and to retirement homes and let society actually heal itself so that we can be productive again. But what? They want to hold on. They want to hold on. Wisdom says, hey, why are we going against the natural order and the natural law of things? Why are we so inorganic in the way that we do things? Natural law is wisdom. Natural law says it takes a female dog and a male dog to make another dog, to make a whole pack of dogs. I'm not an amphibian. I'm not asexual. Gotta make that turn. Why is it that society always wants to go against the natural order of things? Why is that? Why is that? Why are we not wise enough to think about why is that? Why is that? Yes, we're educated. Yes, we're technologically advanced, but we are not wise. We're not wise. You know, we've become a society of bottle-fed babies who don't know what hard work is and are selling their freedom because they don't actually know what it took to get them the freedom that they have now. And so to give it all up seems like a great idea, but what happens when things start corroding and you have no world circle knowledge of how to do things, of how to take care of yourselves? Most people don't know how to build anything. Most people don't know how to grow anything. Most people don't know how to genuinely take care of themselves. Most people are so dependent on the system and the government and everything that they're hooked into that if something did happen, they'd perish because they wouldn't even know where to begin. You don't even realize how much you've given up your freedom already. You're so connected to this society, so connected to the supermarket, so sucked in. What happens when the supermarket doesn't get a shipment? What happens when the government doesn't give a shit? What happens when the police don't do their job? Wisdom. Let's get some wisdom here. It's not all about education. You can't get an education if you don't have your own life together. You can't get an education if you can't eat, if you can't feed yourself. Education doesn't matter anymore. History doesn't matter anymore if you're just trying to survive. And the thing about it is that history can change, it can repeat, and it can be lied about. So we need to stop worrying about the things that we've been bottle fed to believe and to think and to move in. And we need to start thinking for ourselves and getting a little bit more wisdom and saying, hey, what if I couldn't depend on the system at place? The system that constantly seems rigged and seems like there's always something, it's the system that doesn't even let you get a leg up after you feel like you've gotten this, I've paid this, I've done this, I finally got there. Oh, wait, here's another thing. How about this? Here's a good question. I have this issue because, obviously this aggression towards red light turn tickets. It's like either we have them all be no turn on red or none of them be no turn on red. Why is it only specific locations? Now, I understand how the roads and stuff move in certain locations, but some locations it's just really completely absolutely pointless. Okay, it's simply just to collect a tax. Okay, either all or nothing. We can't just have it sporadically here and there, because then that's not fair. Then people need to know, oh, well, this and this and that. Like, we're just in a society of just, oh, oops, you stepped in a booby trap. Oops, sorry, you have to pay this tax. Oops, da-da-da-da-da. But yet we let people eat off the streets and sit in these tents and let things corrode. I'm just surprised that we've allowed things to go this far, and it makes me understand that we don't actually have real leaders in place. Like, we don't have people that are actually willing to step up and do what we as a country, as a society, know needs to happen. Yeah. Well, I hope you have a great day. Hopefully we can kind of understand the difference between wisdom and education now.